This is the story of a small part of a small town in Sussex, by the sea. The town is Seaford, and this is the story of one particular building in that town. Today the building behind me looks sad, neglected, and it's difficult to disagree with the view locally that it's an eyesore. But when it was built in the 1890s, it was intended to be a luxurious seaside home for a rich, wealthy, middle-class Victorian businessman. It was one of 22 seaside bungalows that were planned by the Seaford Bay Estate Company. In fact, only 9 were ever built, and this is probably the best example that still remains. Unfortunately, it won't be remaining for very much longer. Although it may not be the haunted house it sometimes appears, it does have a secret, and that secret is the way it's been built. It's actually made up of precast, reinforced concrete panels. That was very unusual in the 1890s. Concrete has been used as a building material for decades, for centuries. The Romans used it. But the idea of using precast concrete panels to make domestic buildings was very new in the Victorian times. The other problem was that the material tended to not to be waterproof, which was not a very good idea for a seaside town like Seaford. There aren't many advantages of looking at a derelict building, but one of them is that you can see the way the place was built. In this case, we have out here the panels, the concrete panels. It's basically concrete plastered onto wooden laths. The Victorians coated the wall with hessian and then wallpaper on top. With the digger arm at its extreme length, natural solid chalk was eventually found at about 2.4 metres, where the water table was also established. One intriguing feature was a section of drain or culvert made up of carefully crafted blocks of chalk. At the time of the dig, it was thought to be a Victorian land drain, but subsequent reassessment suggests it was probably part of a 17th century attempt to drain some of the land. During the archaeological work, 2 trenches were dug on the site of the garden. A wide range of artefacts was found, including prehistoric flintwork, a Roman coin and medieval pottery. However, there was no clear context for the origins of this material, and it was finally speculated that it was probably the result of an attempt in the 17th century to infill an area of the old silted harbour. Planning permission has been granted to demolish it and replace it with a series of modern houses. The last time we were here in Seaford was 4 years ago in 2009. Not a long time historically, but see how things have been transformed. So this has been the story of just one building in a small town in Sussex. We don't know what the future's going to hold, but it'll be interesting to come back in another 100 years to find out what one Cricketfield road looks like, indeed what the whole of Seaford looks like.